and welcome to the Content Byte, a podcast for freelancers who use their words to make money. I'm Rachel Smith, a freelance journalist, copywriter, and content producer. I'm also the founder of Rachel's List, a jobs board and community for Australian writers and other creatives.
And I'm Lynne Testoni. I'm a journalist and a content writer as well. Rachel and I are your weekly co-hosts, and every week we're bringing you all kinds of tips, tricks, and some fabulous guests to help you make the most of your freelance business. This podcast is sponsored by our good friends at Rounded, easy accounting and invoicing software made just for Australian freelancers and sole traders. It's everything you need to make freelancing easier. Find out more at rounded.com.au.
Also, if you're a gold member of Rachel's List, Rounded is giving you 20% off an annual subscription plan. Upgrade to gold membership for all the details.
Hi, Rach. How are you traveling? I know you had a lovely weekend away in a beautiful hotel, but I think you worked the whole time, didn't you?
I know, I did work all the time.
Oh, no.
But I had a big project to finish, all to do with our exciting new event that's about to be launched. Can we say the name?
Yes, say the name.
Yes, it's called the Content Byte Summit. So it's a summit, it's a conference that's kind of come out of the Content Byte, and it's 2 days of amazing guest speakers at a fabulous location. A lot more details to come after I finish the website.
I know you've worked so hard on this. I've been lining up the speakers and organising the venue, but I think you drew the short straw here.
Yes.
However, the website you've done looks amazing and you've done a fabulous job. We'll put a link in the show notes, but expect to hear about it over the next few weeks and months.
Absolutely.
But back to this week's episode, of course, we have another freelancer with a different sort of niche, which is both fascinating and inspiring. Her name is Emma Finneran. Do you want to do the intro?
I will. Here's a little bit about Emma. Emma Finneran is a Lismore-raised, Sydney-based artist with a Bachelor of Visual Arts from Sydney College of the Arts, University of Sydney. As well as being a working artist, she freelances as a writer in the art niche, creating artist profiles and writing for arts magazines. Welcome, Emma. It's great to have you on the Content Byte.
Hello,
Yes.
thank you for having me.
I kept reading that you were Lismore-based, but you're actually Sydney-based because you and Lynne are always meeting in the dog park, even though you don't have a dog.
No, I'm dog-free, but I am, the Lismore raised thing is just something that I really like to keep in there because I feel like it's just what gives me my edge.
Oh, yes, totally.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, you must miss it. It's nice up there.
Yes, I do miss it. What am I doing here? What am I doing in the dog park, Lynne? Tell me.
The joys of inner city living.
Yeah.
It's the coffee. Although I think the coffee up in Lismore is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's all organic, man.
Okay, Emma, tell us a little bit more about your recent change of direction from artist to writer and what has drawn you to arts writing. Was that sort of something that you planned, or did it just sort of happen organically?
It happened organically. I was asked by my now editor, Con Goriotis from Artist Profile magazine to write about myself when I was still a practicing artist in like 2019 or 2020. And from there, he just kind of encouraged me to keep writing for the magazine about other artists. I guess he kind of liked my style. Then I had a baby, so that my practice kind of fell by the wayside, and I just started getting more and more work and attention for writing. So it just kind of was this, I gave up my studio and just the practice shifted to writing very naturally. And it's something that I feel like, I'm enjoying being in this space right now, opposed to making work.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So how have you found your clients? Is it all through that initial contact or? Yeah,
essentially. So like I'll get briefs by like from Artist Profile magazine or Art Collector magazine, some from, I recently started writing for Sullivan Strumpf. They've got the gallery's got an in-house magazine. So it's like I get assigned and commissioned to write about certain artists, but then I'm also pitching. Maybe I've seen like a groovy show or something coming up, or talking to artist friends. So I'll pitch interesting shows I think that are coming up. And then on top of that, I'm also getting contacted by artists to write their exhibition essays, so the accompanying essays, which I'm getting quite a lot of at the moment. I feel like maybe people that are going to all these shows will be sick of reading my work.
But that's okay.
So the clients are finding me and I'm finding them. It's like a nice to and fro.
Yeah.
That's great. Have you done any sort of training or upskilling, in freelance writing, or learned how to pitch or anything, or is it just all you've just kind of flown by the seat of your pants a bit?
Yeah, I'm totally someone once told me, and I don't know if this is like a compliment, I'm still working it out, but they were like, we like how you're rough around the edges. And I was like,
oh no.
So, like, things like, I've definitely needed help with just really basic writing, like grammar, for example, syntax, just things to refresh those modes of operation and operating. So my sister has been a journalist for like many, many, many years. And so she's been a really great help. Yeah, I'm just kind of like going in blind and fingers crossed and kind of just being really open to the editorial suggestions. Like, yes, of course that needs to be a semicolon. So I'm just still developing my style.
Yeah.
So it's really like, it's in its infant phase for sure.
That's quite handy having a journalist, on speed dial that you can just send your
Yes.
work to and go, can you just fix this up before I file it?
She's like my SOS 11th hour. Quickly, I'm going to shave my head if I don't know what I'm going to do right now. Like, she's so immediate with her response, and it's always very tight. And it's kind of funny though, because Claire is her name. She's constantly saying to me, like, I wish I didn't know how to do these things, because sometimes I'm not accessing what you're accessing, so there's this nice like marriage there between the two of us that's benefiting both of us. So it's been nice to enter her world and her mind, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. How long have you been doing the writing side of things, or freelancing?
For like 3 years. In like 2022, sorry. Claire and I both got a job working for an art app based in New York, and we were kind of covering like Sydney shows and content. And so we were essentially working together at the time, and it really helped that kind of experience working in that capacity I'd never done before. Like, the turnaround of content was super fast, pitching was super fast, lots of meetings. I just had never been in this kind of quasi-professional realm before. It was always just me and my computer being Carrie Bradshaw. That experience, I think, has made me feel like I've got more experience than I do, like, I think that really was a crash course on how
that would have been great. Yeah.
It was really, really great. Sadly came to an end, but that's whatever. The experience was everything.
Yeah.
Freelancing is a bit similar to working as an artist, isn't it? Because you're working for yourself, you have to have some self-discipline, all that sort of stuff. But interesting when you talked about Claire with your sister, you having a different approach. Do you think that being as an artist helps when you're writing these profiles?
Yeah, for sure, because I think I know not what to ask. Just even though those are questions and answers that readers like to know and like to read, it's kind of like, when someone walks into a show and they say, how long did it take to paint this? And it's like, that is such a futile question. Like, it could have taken 30 seconds, but the process is in the mind and in the body and in the living of the thing. It feels like forever. Yeah, I think my experience definitely, and the process building and the discipline that you need to have a studio practice has helped when approaching artists, for sure. Because, I don't ask questions like that, or I don't say like, is that a face? Who is that? You? Like, it's more sideways than that, and a little bit more philosophical, I guess. I mean, that being said, there are moments where I'm like, "Wow, that's cool. Is that a tree?" Like, I do still have those like reactions, which I think are totally normal and very valid. I just think that, like, when you're really wanting to get to know the artist and when you're really wanting to profile them and what they're about, most of the time it's not about the literal stuff. It's about the things that you don't see. It's in the process. It's in the mood. So it has helped me for sure, being an artist. Yeah, for sure.
I love that, because I think that you'd be able to engage with other artists so much more easily and get, such a great story from them, knowing the process behind it or having an idea of what they've gone through. Yeah. That's so true.
I think I'm non-threatening for them too. Like, I don't there's no ominousness about my questioning, or it's like just a conversation between peers.
Yeah.
Maybe you get more respect too as a fellow artist, do you think?
Well, maybe you said it, I didn't know. Maybe, I don't know, yeah, maybe.
And definitely editors would love that as well, because they're sending essentially an expert to interview an artist, when often so many journalists or writers are going in blind and doing, shed loads of research beforehand to try and bone up on the topic, aren't they, Lynne? And
yes, true.
Yeah, I think sometimes you just leave your degree at the door when it comes to art. And sometimes when we're still talking in that kind of really art historian space, like it's kind of, yes, maybe that square is cubist, whatever, but it doesn't need to be capitalized C. It could just be a we don't really need to go down the canon again and again. Me just having that knowledge base and that artist having that knowledge base, we don't need to touch on it. It's just referred to gently, that we both have those kind of reference points.
So has this become kind of like a full-time career for you, or is it just a part-time thing?
Yeah, it is kind of becoming a bit more full-time. I'm getting more and more work every week, and I think it's something that I will definitely keep pursuing because I'm enjoying it, and I think others are enjoying it too. So the experience so far has been really nice and copacetic. It's not like something that's making me worried. I don't get nervous about it. It feels right to write. So I think my artist practice will come back eventually. But as it stands, the words seem to be taking precedence. I can't shut up, basically, as you can tell. So.
That's good. That's what writers are all about.
Yeah.
Rachel and I can't talk.
None of us can shut up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I guess the big question is, does it pay? Because we see a lot about the arts and the creative industries, and a lot of it is low paid. And do you get asked to work for free a lot? That's a common thing.
I haven't been asked to work for free so far.
Oh, that's good.
You do a lot of work, as you know, for free, like a lot of admin stuff. So lots of like visiting studios, and some artists like me to come more than once. Obviously, those types of things aren't technically paid. But in terms of pay, I have been quite lucky, I think, like because I've been doing these essentially like private writing pieces, like essays for people's shows. Galleries kind of have an industry standard of how they pay you for that. That's not, I would say, indicative of the industry.
Yes.
Whereas, working for the magazines, you get paid less for sure because of their whatever funding or lack of they have, it's just, that's how it seems to be working. So I've got to do quite a lot of work to make it feel like worthwhile, if that makes sense, without being gross. Without talking about the literal cash.
And what about like, working with artists and translating their work into words? Do you find a lot of them are precious, or, we talked before about how it's more like a conversation between peers. Does that make it easier, when you come up against someone with a bit of an ego, I guess?
Yeah. It's definitely, I've gotten to know people in a different way that I knew before personally. In a professional way, for sure, there is a certain reverence some people like, and professionalism. Nothing wrong with that. But there's definitely some artists I have found difficult to work with because of their need for, reverence is the word. Like, it's not that I actually am probably pretty irreverent as a person, but like maybe that's the rough around the edges part. I don't know. But I think I find everything funny, and I find everything dark and everything light. So I think sometimes when I can make references for some artists, they can be upset about those things, which, isn't really an issue for me because I'm more than happy for that to be something we can talk about. But some artists is very precious, very precious. There's a lot of ego in that world, in the art world, and you kind of really big one, I think, to successful artist. So when someone else is coming in just to like Skeeter, how she's got like a pen that just writes, and it's not necessarily like what the person's saying. They just really want to control what you're receiving from them, which is not how it works, and like not always the funnest experience as the writer, because you're like, I'm not a vessel. Like, I'm not your conduit, like I am, but I also have agency, and I'm also going to kind of approach this through my lens. That will always be hard. I imagine that's hard across all fields in the writing world, you know?
I think that definitely, just hearing you talk about it, definitely relates to the entertainment industry, where they try and sanitize everything, and the PRs will sit in on every chat and say next question, and cut you off if they don't want the actor to answer something. So you get the same story all the time. But I really love how you said you want to put it through your lens, and that's fair enough. Like, everything else is just so boring.
Yes.
If we want people to know the same thing, then why have other people involved?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's an opportunity there for you to see how someone digests something, and how it sits in them and what comes out because of that. And that opportunity, I would think, as an artist, is exciting, because that's in essence what they're doing. They're putting their guts on the wall for the general public to see. And if you're not happy with how people see it, then what are you doing, really? Like, you can't control that. And the writing, I think, is a part of that. Like, you can guide people, and you can allude to themes and concepts that are really important to you, but feeling is everything, and that's how people experience art,
through their own lens.
That's right, through their own lens. And what they ate for breakfast might change their mood that day. They might need to go see it, like, it's like an evolving thing. To be too prescriptive and like it just is a bit lame. I like artists that are just like, you have carte blanche, like, this is how, let's just go, or let's shimmy back and forth and see what happens. But yeah, there are people that are like very strict with their persona and how they would like that to be perceived.
In my experience, I've worked from fashion when I worked in fashion magazines, where you're also interpreting like some sort of creative thing. But in my experience, the people are most challenging are the people at the beginning of their career, because they're trying so hard to have their message out, or people at the end of their career who are later on, who are more of a control freak and are concerned about how their legacy is going to be perceived. Generally, the people in the middle of the career are just like, yeah, take what you want. Is that what you find?
Yeah, that's a very good way of putting it, for sure. Absolutely. And I think, also on top of that, there is also just a general kind of personality type, maybe a little bit of narcissism or whatever. But yeah, that's a really good point, Lynne. Like, there are definitely stages of career with artists that, they're happier to kind of sit in the mess a bit and just be unpalatable generally. It's like, I don't mind however you take this. But the control freaks, generally the ones that are like, I'm out of art school, I've got business cards, and have you seen my website? Have you seen my TikTok? All this stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, slow down.
Yeah. And so have there been people that you've interviewed where you've been kind of nervous about, the copy coming out or the article coming out? Yeah.
Yes.
And you were like, I'm not going to answer my phone today.
Yes.
There was one time in particular where I just wasn't getting anywhere. And so I turned the whole piece last minute into an interview. So read as an interview, because there was just absolutely no way I was going to get what this person wanted. And it was really important for them, and they were important too in the world. In the world. So I just didn't want to be. I just moved the target off my back with that one. But there are other times where I've just gone for it and just fingers crossed, and you're like, oh, okay.
All been there.
Yeah. Was.
Do you do much painting yourself still, and do you miss it?
I haven't painted in 2.5 years. I do miss it. I miss it a lot, actually, but I am about to go on a painter's residency in Bali for the month of May.
Wow.
I got awarded that before COVID and before baby, BC, before child. And since then it's been reactivated, reinvigorated, whatever, and I'm going. So I'm hoping to start painting in May, but it just seems like so abstract to be like, yes, I will paint in May. I will be in Bali and I will paint in May. So we'll see what happens. I think I parted ways with my gallery last year, and I've been with them for 6 years. So I'm a free agent in terms of that. So yeah, I'll just see what happens.
How amazing to have a month by yourself in Bali to just like work on your art.
Yes,
I'm so envious right now.
I mean, I will be there half the time with my daughter. She'll come over. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do at all, like with myself, with my time. What? I can't imagine having a painting practice anymore. I just do not have the same capacity to sit and think the way I used to. And writing has been a good way to keep myself busy in my mind, because you can hold the words in your head, you know. It's different with like image making, I think. So it's been really nice. It'll be a challenge for me to see if I have any images in my head. I don't think I do. At the moment, it's just all words. So we'll just have to like empty the cache and see what happens. I don't know.
and kind of get that painting muscle back, because it hasn't been
I
used
am
for a
not
while.
match fit. I am not match fit whatsoever. So like I'm just gonna have to like wing it and see what happens. But I think most of the time I'm probably going to do a lot of writing, I assume. Like I probably will have work to do anyway, but I feel like I might just do a bit of both. Oh, I don't know. Who knows? It's exciting.
That is exciting.
How many other people will be there on the residency? Do you know much about it?
So it'll just be me.
Yeah.
It's a compound. Rather, so actually there will be one other artist, but they're in a different space. So we've got our own studio situation, housing situation. Yeah. So I'm not even sure who my neighbor will be. But yeah, no, it'll just be me and my brain. Help.
We're definitely going to want to see what you've done after the end of May. The pressure is on. No.
Although I think any parent would tell you that it's a different thing. You're probably more efficient.
Yeah.
I'm way more efficient since I became a parent, which is a long time ago, because when you have that time by yourself, you really appreciate it more and you just get into the zone. Yeah. It's much easier to get in and out of the zone. Do you agree, Rach?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the procrastination has just gone.
Yes.
Because you only have these slivers of time and you're like, right, I have to fill that time. You know, I remember when Charlie used to nap and I'd be like, right, I've got 40 minutes to do this interview. And if the interviewee was late or they cancelled on me, it was like, shit, that was the only sliver of time I had for that thing, you know? Yeah. So it all becomes this kind of filling the blocks of time in the way that you're trying to do that. And yeah, it's tricky with little kids for sure.
Yeah. It's amazing. I don't know how I operated before now. I really don't, because I was watching this amazing Rachel Cusk interview. I love her books.
Oh, we love Rachel Castle. She's amazing.
And she talks a lot about, it's on the Louisiana channel. I referenced her just before without giving her credit, so I'm doing it now. But she talks about holding words in her head, and she writes books really fast because of how long she's had the idea and the feeling of the characters and the story, and the way that she talks about that balance, it being not balanced and it being this elusive, very abusive actually word. It's not real, you know, there is no balance. And so letting that point go and just, as you said, Rachel, just having slithers and knowing that's your time and committing to that time. And 40 minutes really actually alone is like a huge amount of time, you know.
Yes.
And before I would have like 5 hours straight to scratch my balls, which I don't own, but you know, like I would just do absolutely nothing in that time. Really, I'd take 2 hours for lunch. Like, so yeah, the slivers of time, and it's all elusive. None of it's real. And being able to lose that procrastination is a nice thing. I would like to procrastinate more.
No luxury for that.
You feel kind of guilty though now when you do it because of the slivers of time. I
feel like that should be your memoir.
Yeah, maybe it should. Maybe when I finish all the other stuff that's on my list.
You write your book in those remaining slivers of time.
Oh no, cut out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, something that we do ask all our guests is about their tech tips. So are there any kind of digital tools that you've started using as a writer and that you'd recommend, or are you just a like Word person?
I'm a pen and paper gal.
Pen and paper gal.
Yes, I'm a total Luddite. So in terms of tech tips, yes, no, I don't have any I'm very Bear Grylls. I need to down.
The Bear Grylls of the writing world. I love it. What about when you're interviewing someone though?
I barely voice record, barely. It's literally pen and paper, sometimes a pencil, and lots of phone notes. So again, because of the baby element, the child element, I'm constantly writing in my phone. So no, I don't have any tech tips. I'm sorry, but I'm sure there are really important and really great things I'm missing out on. I just haven't had the capacity to enter that world just yet.
Yes. Look, it's whatever works for you, right, Lynne? I mean, so many people come on and they just go, I use Word, and that's it.
Right.
And some people use all the things.
Yeah, I don't even use Word. I use Google Doc.
Oh, Google Doc, of course. Yeah.
Just because it's on my phone and then I can share it as a, whatever. I like having blah, blah, blah. I like using Google Doc.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah. Well, there you are, a whole tech tip. There you
wow.
are. Yeah.
Tell us, is there anything, important for someone who might be wanting to enter into arts writing or enter into that world that you would suggest? I'm guessing a background in the arts would be really useful.
Yes, for sure. I think a background in the arts, but also just liking the arts.
Yeah.
Not being shy of it, not thinking that it's something greater than it is, meaning, this is my irreverent coming out, but just it is approachable and it is something that we all need and look at every day. Beauty, the concept of it is important. So I think if you wanted to access the arts, having a natural like for it, I would say leave what you know at the door and just see what you feel.
Yes.
It's all valid. If you don't like something because it's too blue, that's as valid to me as someone liking it because that person's a superstar. I think it's subjective and it's taste and it's about how it makes you feel. So my advice would just be what does it make you feel?
What about kind of niching though? Because you might gravitate towards wanting to talk to other painters, but would you also be interested in talking to ceramicists or talking to, all of that sort of stuff? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think interdisciplinary, anyone that's doing something that I have no idea about is so cool to me. I went to a barbecue and talked to a radiographer for 3 hours because I was and then what? I find it more interesting to not know. Some people are the opposite to that, but for me, painters, I'm over it. I'm cool. But if I'm talking to a ceramicist or a glass blower or someone that does super AI stuff, I'm what? Usually my first question is what do you eat for breakfast? Because you're so different to me. What is it what do you feed your body to create this? How is this coming out of you?
Yeah.
I think it's so cool when people do things you don't know anything about,
Yeah.
That's one of the fun things about being a writer. You actually have an excuse often to be a busybody and ask people questions about things that you've always wondered about or you didn't even know existed until you meet them. So
kind of indulge that curiosity. We do that every day, don't we?
Totally. There is that kind of importance around art sometimes that people don't feel like they can access it necessarily. And I do understand that. I've got people in my family that would come to my shows and be yes, there it is. That's all they can kind of say. Because they don't feel like they can say anything. It's going to be wrong what they say, or they're just naturally shy of it. And maybe they just only go to the Archibald once a year and that's their experience of art. But my advice is to just get exposed to things that are happening in the art world. It's generally free. There's generally free booze and people love talking about themselves in the industry. So it's quite easy to talk to people in those spaces.
Yeah.
And it's fun. This is fun. People that sit in a room all day and make weird shit. It's cool,
Yes.
I know.
It is fun,
living the dream. Well, tell us where people can find out more about you, Emma.
I do have a website. It's very basic, unfortunately, but I don't really have that much about myself online so far. I'm in the process of making a writing website, but my website as it stands is just from my last show I ever had in 2020. So yeah, you can follow me, I guess. I don't know, like I'm not really on those platforms as I should be. Does that make sense? Ugh, getting nervous now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that's fine. I mean, obviously
Come and
it
see me
sounds
at the dog park.
clearly the way to meet people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we'll put a link to your website in the show notes, and
Cool.
yeah. And thank you, Emma. It's really interesting. I think it's made Rachel and I think about art differently, and I think it's a whole different area of writing and creating that we hadn't thought of before.
Yeah, well, definitely. I've just finished my 12-week ceramic course, and I'm like completely heartbroken, but I also have 2 massive slabs of clay, like different slabs of clay that do totally different things in the kiln, and it's all on me now to create that, to create without the structure of a course. So
That's so cool. Good luck with that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
easy.
I want to make dinner plates that have little bursts of like iron coming out that are all glazed in white. So yeah, I've got a plan.
Nice.
But it's good. It's good to have like all these different kinds of, you know, creative practices. And yeah, I think it's really interesting. We haven't actually had an arts writer on the pod, have we, Lynne?
No, which is why, having chatted in the dog park, I thought, wow, you do something niche, and I love it when we find somebody who has a niche that we hadn't thought of. And it was really interesting. So thank you so much for sharing it.
Thanks.
No, thanks for having me, guys. Thank you.
Great.
We look forward to that writer's website and checking out your work, which is
it's coming, guys. It's coming.
And all the work coming back from Bali.
Yes.
In Bali.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much. And thanks everybody for listening. That brings us to the end of the show this week. Please share us on social media, leave a rating and review on the platform wherever you find your podcast.
Yeah, and I should say thanks again to our sponsors, rounded.com.au, because they're easy in accounting and invoicing software, and they're just made for Australian freelancers and sole traders. So go to rounded.com.au.
And we will be back next week, won't we, Lynne?
We will.
Okay, bye.
Bye.